Well, hello again, ladies and gentlemen, brothers, sisters, friends, comrades on YouTube. Thanks for joining me. Once again, your brother Clydesdale here. I'm currently a Leonard's Express trainee. I've completed day 3, the final day of my orientation process for onboarding with Leonard's Express. With a skeleton uh, pupil body, if you will. There was just two of us. Things went quickly. Um, Today, day 3, wasn't nearly as exhilarating as day 1. What with um, test, road test right out of the chute. Um, but still, quite a lot of information that we were able to go through. We first met with uh, Cat out of New York that has everything to do with fueling and where to fuel and how to find a place to fuel and what maps to use and the apps to use and so forth. That was Brother Omar out in New York. Very difficult brother to understand. He was very new to the English language, clearly. Bless his little gizzard. Got the gist of it, took a lot of notes because I had to write down what I thought he was saying. And I was, pretty in there. But again, you know what, folks, I'm going out with a trainer. And I'm getting to that here in a minute. But I don't need to know exactly every positive thing um, just to be able to survive a day. I'm going to have a trainer with me for, the likes of 4 to 5 weeks. So it's not that imperative that I, um, you know, hear and retain every single thing that comes across on any one given day. But I'm glad we did it. There was they run out of the Flying J, what we in the trucking world call the Flying Hook. Pilot, that's their fuel preference for anyone and everyone. And they mark them along the way. You don't have to go to any one specific one, but they mark along the fuel stops along your route on a map within their app that explains, or pretty much delineates where all these fuel stops are. It's up to you to hit them. And one thing I thought was pretty interesting is that they've got some of them that are unlimited amounts of gallons that you can get. And then there are several that you can only get 76 gallons. And you're like, 76? That's kind of an odd number, isn't it? It is. But it's only because at the Pilot Flying Hook, if you get 75 gallons, you get a free shower. This is my life now. This is my life. I have to buy a shower or buy enough fuel to get a shower. So that means you get your fuel first as soon as you pull into the truck stop, and then you go park your truck, grab your toiletries and a change of clothes. Don't forget your thongs so you don't get an athlete's foot in your public shower, and handle it that way. So anyway, it's thoughtful, but the whole point is they don't want to spend an exorbitant amount of money for the, thousands and thousands of gallons a day of fuel that they purchase throughout the entire fleet of Leonard's Express trucks. And there's quite a fleet of them these days. They're tickling 800 trucks. And if you have only 700 of them running, you're pulling a lot of fuel down in a day. And that's just Leonard's Express. That doesn't include a company like Swift that's got nearly 16,000 trucks, JB Hunt, et cetera, et cetera. There's so many trucking companies out there that are large, Schneider, that have a ton of trucks out there, and they're just pulling, thousands and thousands of gallons of fuel on a daily. And so they want you to go to specific places. 76 gallons or unlimited. It's clearly delineated for you on their app, and you just mind buy it and take your way. And the whole idea, again, is not to spend so much money on fuel. Trying to be efficient in many ways. Certainly the fuel price is one of them, but the driver has a lot of responsibility as well. They used to have a lot of fuel bonus type programs, but everybody did so well with it, they just decided to make everybody, pay everybody a little more money. So that's why the rates are so good. It's 58 cents a mile for me to start. They're paying me $125 a day in training. So for every day that I'm available and driving or not driving the truck, but on the OmniTrack, then I'm getting $125 a day. Not the greatest money in the world, to be sure, but it's something. It's $650 a week that I don't have to worry about. We're already in late January, and my benefits start on February 1st, which for this outfit is dental and vision. So I already have that rocking and rolling next month. So I'm pretty happy about it, man. It's a pretty cool setup. After we got done talking with Brother Omar, we got a shop tour, which was really a big and important factor and portion of what we're doing. Anytime you need some work done on the truck, they would prefer, of course, that you have it done at the terminal, but from time to time, things happen out on the road. So they've given us a card for a specific company to call that's kind of like the AAA of trucking for this company. And honestly, I have the card over in my folder and I forgot to bring it. So I don't remember the name of the joint. But anyway, they have an outfit that takes care of the road stuff first. We'll call the shop and say, hey, I got this, that, or this of a type problem, and they will say, okay, well then call this company. You have their card number, ring them down, and they'll tell you what to do. Usually you go to a Love's or a TA and get your truck fixed. So after the shop explanation on how to do everything and what they expect of you in that yard, brother came in and took us out for a truck and trailer tour and sort of gave us the idea of how everything works. Again, not the most super important thing that I had to do or retain, because I'm not going out solo right away again with a trainer, and so I'll get all that stuff down pat so that my end road test will then reflect that, and then everybody will be confident, okay, fair enough, Clydesdale's got it down, let's issue this brother a truck and send him on his way. So that's what I'm hoping to get accomplished here in fairly short order, but it is what it is, and it takes the time it takes, and that's just how it goes. And so we'll get her done. After we met Amy and a couple other cats in the shop, we went over. Well, we had lunch. Where I forgot to tell you about lunch. They just basically hand you a menu. They don't say, okay, we're bringing in such and so from the Subways or whatever it is. We're going to have 5 large pizzas here. No, if they're going to a pizza joint, they hand you the menu and you make your choice. No exception today. Went to a Mexican food joint and they hand you the menu and you make your choice, smart or otherwise. And so, boy, I'll tell you what, if you starve at a Leonard's Express orientation, that is on you, because they feed you. There's no doubt about that. So after we had lunch, we went over the workflow, and that is how you receive your loads for, whatever your delivery is going to be. This is how you get it, is on your workflow. And once you finish a load, you have to say that you have finished it before you can, request your next one. They'll have a pre-plan in there for you, and then the pre-plan, you will either accept it or reject it. You can reject the load. You can tell them, which is the example that they use is kind of funny. A lot of guys reject it because they will not go to California. And so I can't blame a lot of those drivers. They will not go to California. The trucking industry is federally regulated to the hilt. And then, as you can only imagine, California takes it upon themselves to regulate it just a little more. For example, in California, if you are driving a big truck or if you're pulling a trailer, let's say you have a, super big Ford F-350 and you got a trailer of toys you're pulling, your speed limit's 55. And because big trucks are regulated so heavily in that state, they'll pull the big truck over going 60 before they would pull the ATV rider over for going 60. You know what I mean? So guys hate going to California, and I don't necessarily blame them. But that was the example they used for refusing a load. Maybe you don't have enough hours. Maybe they want you to take a load to, Illinois, which is going to take you, 30 hours to get there. And you don't have that kind of time left on your 70-hour clock. So you just reject the load and have them give you a load that's a little bit closer and a little bit more easy and achievable, and that you can get there. So several reasons to accept or reject a load. And then there's a whole process for what you do when you arrive at the shipper, when you receive the load at the shipper, when you depart from the shipper, and then you're driving. And then you arrive at the receiver and unload at the receiver. It tells you whether it's a live load or a live unload. It tells you whether it's a drop and hook on either end. So anyway, there's a whole bunch in just valuable information and specific and very detailed information for every load that you get on the workflow. So we went all through the whole workflow process. Again, me not having to worry about every single thing, but glad it was at least touched on. The other thing was then I was given a phone number for my trainer. I'm not going to mention the brother's name, at least in the beginning here, because I don't know him. He doesn't know me. I called him and I was given instructions to and given his number. And we spoke, decided he needed to get back to me to see what the plan was. And so he did get back to me in pretty short order, which I was very appreciative of. And we still don't really know what day we're leaving. He needs to, he won't know until tomorrow exactly. So I really don't have anything going tomorrow as far as with Leonard's Express that at least I'm aware of. And so I'm going to just kind of hang here and wait for any phone calls or anything that I need to do. We're going to know way more tomorrow, but we need at least a day, Ed said, to get together so that he can go over things like chaining the truck, putting chains on. It is wintertime. And while it may not feel like wintertime in some of the places that y'all are watching from, in some of the places that y'all are watching from, it's damn sure wintertime. So if we're going to go driving in it, we need to know how to chain the truck. So, I've seen plenty of videos on how to chain trucks. I'm pretty confident with how to do it. I've just never actually done it. So it would be an interesting tidbit. And so I'm rocking and rolling with it with Ed at some point. Got some other things he wants to go through, but sometime this weekend is likely for departure. It may be as late as Monday, and it sounds like we might even be headed to California to pick up our first load. Probably take a load from somewhere around this area, go down to Cali, pick up a load in California, and then go to Maine. All the way to Maine. When I spoke to Ed Terrell, I just said it. Cut. When I spoke to my trainer, he said that he's driven in every single state except Maine. So that's kind of cool. I just thought, I've never been in Maine before, and it's really one of the places that I really wanted to get. And now I'm going to be ripping right up into it. Yes, it is dead of winter. Yes, it will be a challenge. Bring it on. Bring it all on. Bring it. Am I clear, Patrick? I want to do this. I'm, not intimidated by it, but I do respect it. A lot of race car drivers say they're not afraid of any racetrack, but they do respect it. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm not afraid of any condition, but I will respect it. I'm going to have 70,000 pounds or more under my ass, and I don't need to put it in a ditch and make bonehead truckers for the week, for crying out loud. So anyway, that's my update. I'm through orientation with Leonard's Express. I'm excited about that. We're going to hit the road sometime really soon, within the next few days. We're going to get that training out of the way and under my belt and understand everything from A to Z on how Leonard's Express operates. And I've got a trainer that's going to help me do all that. So I'm looking forward to it. I want to thank each and every one of you for hanging out with me. These are a couple of long videos, and I apologize. But, just listen. Whatever you're doing and whenever you're doing it, do it right. Diez Quattro, take care of each other. It's your brother Clydesdale signing off. Peace!